We were high school sweethearts, both broken childhoods, a lot of abuse in both of our backgrounds, and really had no clue what a real marriage was.
I didn't have a father growing up, and I've always dealt with a perpetual emptiness. A lot of times people will try to fill that emptiness with drugs and alcohol or sex. For me, it was kind of a mixture of everything. You start making stupid decisions that aren't conducive to a marriage.
There's just been some ongoing things in his life that they would sneak their heads up again. And as a wife, I could not pretend any longer that it didn't matter and that I was okay.
You have no idea that you're hurting those around you. And then one day you wake up and your family's gone. I had some belongings in a trash bag. It was crazy. And I basically had no notice whatsoever. And out the door I went. I had reached out to a dear friend of mine at a pretty low point in my life, and it just so happened that weekend was an encounter, and he invited me to come, and I honestly did not want to go. But when I got there, I got sucker punched, man, in a good way. And a lot of times it takes something like the encounter to wake you up and to make you realize that regardless of where you are in your life, God loves you and He meets you right where you are. The encounter is definitely not a marriage encounter. They have men's encounters, they have women's encounters, and they have youth encounters. It's taking care of you individually.
Encounters are basically designed, no matter where you're at in faith or out of faith, to allow you to have an encounter with God. All the good excuses we have not to have a relationship with God, they tear those excuses down and give you a new platform to believe in something new.
An encounter is for everybody. It's really all about forgiveness and God's grace. Even if you've been a Christian for a long period of time, there's issues that you've never addressed, or there's areas that you can grow in.
I left there a completely changed person, and it really just started me off on a brand new path.
He calls me. He's like, Michelle, you have got to go on this encounter. So to appease him, I said yes. I sit in the back, arms crossed. I'm sitting there going, God, I love you, but I am so angry right now, and I don't want to be here. He began that night, just little by little, just little by little, just touching my heart, just touching those places that were so wounded. And it wasn't just my marriage. It was me. It was my heart. It was the things from my past.
Only God can transform somebody in a weekend. And God has restored me back to my family, to my wife, my children. And I would have missed out on all those things. But the encounter helped me hit the reset button.
I have a love for my husband that I didn't have before. God has given me a capacity to really love him and to see him differently, because I now see how God sees me. Had that weekend not been there, I would be divorced right now. It was a life changer for me.